Hey, Brendan here. Welcome back to the channel. I am visiting one of the top steak restaurants in the world, and you're coming with me. It was voted number 2. It's recently been voted number 6. It's here in Spain, and I'm going to take you on the journey. But will this restaurant be as good as it should be, being number 2 or number 3 or number 6 in the world? We're going to find out. We're going to go there together, and we're going to soak it up. Let's go. So I'm here in the beautiful city of León in Spain, northern Spain, and I've come to visit absolutely one of the world's best steak restaurants, Bodega Capricho, and it's about an hour's drive from here. I'm going with a really good friend of mine, and if I haven't talked about it before, I absolutely love the barking dogs. I absolutely love 2 things, traveling and great food. I love nothing more than sitting out on a nice terrace in a town like this, having a nice coffee or, in my case, a non-alcoholic cocktail, maybe a nice cigar, watching the world go by, having a great meal. And I love to travel to places that have great food. Milan, Lisbon, Geneva, London, Madrid, Rome, Barcelona, of course, where I live. But today I'm taking you on this journey. But the thing is, you have an expectation sometimes of what a steak should be like. Maybe the place doesn't quite live up to it. And I really, really hope that this place is as good as I think it will be. So the restaurant is called Bodega El Capricho, and it's south of León in a random little place. We're going to drive there later on, and we show up and we have a tour around the farmyard area. We look at the cattle, how they nurture them, rear them, and all that kind of thing. So you have like an hour and a half tour, and then you sit down for the steak dinner, and you have a couple of choices. You can go with the taster menu, which looks amazing, 10 courses, steak taster menu, or you can go a la carte. I'm not sure. What do you think I should do? I'll show you when we get there, and we'll go through this experience together. But I am super excited because I love a great steak. It's one of my favorite meals. It's one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, I'm just super, super excited to go to this place. Even so, I'm getting nearly run over here. So let's do this, guys. Let's go on this journey. We're going to the top, the best of the best in the steak world. Right, so almost ready to set off to Bodega El Capricho. Got the glad rags on here. They've gone with the linen grandad shirt. Got some nice cream jeans on. Got to go with those sort of faded pastels in Spain, right? Gone with the day date for this one. I've gone with Roger Isola Blue as my fragrance of the evening, and I am super excited. I really am genuinely excited. I want to get over there and see what this steak is all about. We're going to head up. We're going to get there for 7 o'clock for a tour around the farm and experience how they do things and their philosophy and their methods and all that kind of stuff. Then we eat at 9 o'clock. I'm going to go meet my mate in the reception of the hotel here. We're going to get the car out the basement, and we are going to get on the road. Super excited, but also nervous. Is this steak going to live up to it? Is it going to be as good as the steaks I like? Some of the restaurants that I have absolutely loved in the past, it's totally different. It's a different type of steak, this. They have like this sort of Galician blonde type of meat. So very, very different from anything I've had before. But let's go and find out. It's going to be exciting.
We set off and we had really no idea where we're going. It was quite dark and we didn't even know if we had enough fuel to get there to begin with. Quite nerve-wracking, but we managed to get there okay. And we saw these igloo type things when we got there. More about that later. I'll tell you everything about that. And there is the Bodega El Capricho restaurant in all its grandeur. And as soon as we got in there, we were greeted with these accolades, the world's best steak restaurants, and lots of intimidating steak knives as well. And you can see how rural this is. And before we began our tour, we were asked to jump in the back of this Land Rover. We had no idea where we were going. There's my friend and I, Ian, speeding off and just arrived in this rural farmland. And when we got there, we were greeted by these beautiful animals. And I'd never seen animals of this size outside of like a zoo. Certainly not seen these horns. I didn't even know ox really had that. That is the beautiful Galician blonde cow, and they had all of the most famous breeds of cow and ox here, from hundreds of years old breeds through to modern day breeds, and they all look so content and so happy, and look at the space they've got and the health they've got. And we even got to feed the things, and here's me trying not to look super scared when I'm coming within inches of these ridiculous horns, and this thing looks like it could just finish me at any moment, but was super content. It was actually quite emotional seeing these animals in this way. I've never seen that before. And there's a cheesy photo of me with an ox. The next step was we were led to these igloo things that I mentioned, and it turns out they were underground wine cellars storing meat that had been preserved for years, all done by hand. That's been done by hand, and really was an opportunity to sample some of their fine produce, these sausage, and my friend and I had a sip of this wine. But you can see how they stored all of this produce underground. And the next step, we were back to the restaurant, and this time when we went in, we were greeted with the steaks, quite an array of incredible meats, and that's one of the founders there. And actually our table was underground. The whole restaurant was underground, very authentic. And immediately we saw this incredible wine list. This is just the Rioja, but you can have wines from not much to lots of money. That was the first steak, and that was the steak we actually went for. Really nice marbled cut. Then we were into the starters. Began with a steak tartare, which was stunning. As I mentioned, my friend ordered the red wine, and I had a non-alcoholic gin and tonic, and that's me eating, they call it cecina. You have to eat by hand, they said. It is wafer thin beef, and this is the main cut. And they brought it to the table and cut it into an array of different mini cuts for us, educating us on it. And then they took the fat away and actually toasted the fat and brought that back to the table for us. That was a really nice touch, I thought. And I can't tell you how good this meat was. You can see that initial platter and just the tenderness, the softness, the flavour of this, incredible. Then it was dessert, and I went for the El Capricho torte. All in all, incredible dining experience. And now it's back to me for my final thoughts.
All right, so it's the morning after the night before, and I have to say, like last night I drove home in the rain. We had about an hour's drive, but I was completely bowled over by the entire experience, and the whole thing was just unbelievable. The quality of the meat, amazing. The quality of the experience, exceptional. The starters, this service, gotta be honest and say, that is the best steak I've ever tasted. If you are a steak lover, this has to be on your list for a pilgrimage from wherever you are from. Get over there and check it out. Ian, would you agree, mate?
I would agree wholeheartedly, yeah. Think of anything better.
He agrees, we are steak lovers, and it was well worth it. But the thing is, it wasn't just a steak. Like, we were eating underground, the history of the place, the way they looked after the animals and cared for them and so on, the different variations within the steak. It just bowled me over. And as I speak to you now, I'm actually glad I've waited for the morning to share this video with you, because I wanted to sleep on it and reflect. And as I speak to you now, I'm certain I have never tasted as good a steak in all of London. I've been to some great places in New York. I've been to other excellent steak restaurants in Spain, and I'm into it, put it that way. You're speaking to somebody who I'm into my steaks for sure, but that is there. That's the top of the list. You've got to do it. You really have. And I'm so glad that whilst it's not cheap, it's actually quite expensive, but you compare it to, say, a London Michelin-starred restaurant, you're going to spend less here than you will there. So if you're into steak, you have got to jump on a plane do the flight, do the whole experience. You've got to do the tour. The tour was incredible. We jumped in the back of this Land Rover, headed out, experienced this amazing farm area, and actually fed the animals by hand, which was a little bit scary, I've got to be honest with you. But yeah, you just got to give yourself that opportunity. It is the perfect experience to do for a birthday, for a moment of celebration. You know, reward yourself with this opportunity to go to Bodega El Capricho. My word, you will not be disappointed. And the thing is, I was nervous. I was legitimately nervous because it has to deliver, doesn't it? You're traveling there, you're going a long way, and then you go through the tour, you're sipping on you're eating their kind of cured meats, and they're telling you the story, they're telling you the history and everything. And it's got to deliver. We both said to each other, my mate and I, Ian, we're like, this better be good. So you're nervous, but it over-delivered. It really did. It hit such a high benchmark. I am surprised just how good it was. So if you're a steak lover, you must go to Bodega El Capricho. And that's it for this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Loads more coming up. So make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, hit the thumbs up. You won't miss another video if you do. Leave me your comments on this video, and what's your favorite steak restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant in general? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Once again, thanks for your attention, and I'll see you on the next one.